There's this strange phase in personal growth that no one seems to ever talk about. Not burnout, not failure, not even feeling lost. It's this phase where the old you doesn't feel right and the new you hasn't formed yet. The conversations you have feel different. The environment you're in feels tighter. And the things that lit you up really made your heart sing. They feel flat. Most people assume that there's something wrong with them, but that is not what's happening at all. You have just entered the quiet chapter. This is that phase in self development where you're between versions. And when you begin to understand what's actually happening here, all of that confusion becomes very clear and things begin to fall into place. So let's identify, are you in the quiet chapter? Look for these key signs. The conversations that you have been having, do they feel repetitive? Nothing new. I'm just, having this. It's just another rep. Maybe some of your habits, the old habits that kind of carried you through, just feel empty. They're not fulfilling. There's also this internal restlessness that I just got to keep moving. I need to get to the next thing because I can't sit still. I have found that there's also this weird thing where fewer people are relatable. It's hard because the conversations that you used to have with your buddies, it just kind of end up feeling flat because, you know, we're just in this quiet phase of our lives. And it's a lot of internal work. And then lastly, the motivation. It's just gone. No rhyme or reason. But even though I make success and growth towards my goal, but like the motivation just doesn't compound. Nothing will do it. I can't keep moving forward. And because I feel restless, I I don't know where to go. Why does it feel so weird? Why does it feel like you're moving but nothing else is catching up? Well, it's because three things are happening at the same time. And it's difficult to kind of we really can only focus on one thing, but when three things are happening, it can feel disorienting. So what are those three things? Well, your standards. They they've risen and they've risen quietly. All of a sudden, things that were okay aren't. Things that other people do don't feel right to you anymore. But you didn't tell anyone or you didn't even realize it. But things just quietly, those boundaries, those standards just started to raise. And maybe you didn't realize it. But that's because you started noticing that your environment is the same. So while your standards are rising, the environment just doesn't move. It stays the same because you can only control yourself. And then the last thing that's happening is, you know, your identity isn't fully baked yet. You're not there yet. So that's why I call this, the quiet chapter. But really what it is, it's that gap between the old version and the new version. And because it's a gap, you don't know where to go. Because often our brains crave to know certainty. But when we pseudo know where we want to go, but we haven't been there yet, that's uncertain. So why? Why does this phase feel so lonely? So we thrive when our tribe is aligned with their values, similar ambitions, and we're all at the same stage of life. So as we're evolving, that environment stays the same. Those individuals around us may not be on the same path, may not be at the same stage. They may not share the same values and ambitions anymore because we've grown. And so that can be very lonely. That can even be nerve-wracking because you're realizing that you're just not where they are. What I've experienced and what I've seen in a lot of individuals that I've worked with is that this this quiet chapter ends up being where most people quit. They bail. They think they're crashing and burning and they'll say things like something's wrong or I'm failing so hard right now. And I mentioned motivation just isn't there. It drops dramatically. So why do you keep thinking that there's something wrong with you or failing or you have zero motivation? Well, I alluded to this earlier. It's because your brain is wired for certainty. Your When you feel discomfort, your brain needs it. It goes back to what is safe, what is known, because what is known is all there is. Our brains solve discomfort with reverting back to old habits. You'll also begin to find that you're shrinking your ambition. So all of a sudden you're saying, oh, this is really hard. Maybe I need a tinier bite. And the last thing that our brain utilizes, you'll see here, is we'll return to old environments. We'll find our old friends. We'll begin to crowbar ourselves back into that relationship because it craves certainty. We crave connection. And it's a lot easier, frankly, but you're not failing. You're just in transition. You need to reframe. So when you're in this quiet chapter of your life, you need to remember that you aren't failing. You just are in transition and we will find the way forward. It is possible. So even though you're in this chapter right now, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means that your life is reorganizing and it's all around this new version of yourself. But I want to talk about the elephant in the room. I, it's, this phase freaking sucks. I'm not going to lie to you. It sucks. Our brains hate it. We feel lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Number one thing that if you get anything from this video, it is not to rush it. Remember how I said our brains will lower what we want out of this transition. It'll lower that ambition. And so don't rush it. Don't crowbar yourself into a resolution just because your brain is uncomfortable. And then in addition, you need to slow down. You need to find joy where your feet are. Unlock that. Unlock the space to just observe and understand and breathe is another way to really unlock your full potential because life's chaos and however you react, we can't normally stop our first thought, but if we can create the space, we could decide what to do with it. And so that's why I created this community built for honest people. People who understand that the beauty of life is its imperfection. And we have these honest conversations. Sometimes they're hard. Our brain doesn't always like hard, but we hold each other accountable. We grow together. We've got a weekly workshop. Last week was the Failbank deposit, where I walked James through the Failbank system that I've created to separate your identity from failure. We're tethered so much to who we are and what success we have that when we fail, we often feel like we're broken and shame and we hide it. But when you embrace it and continue to move forward and decide what you want to do with it, what nuggets can you pull out of that? All of a sudden, your growth exponentially increases. Inside there also is a guided 5-day reset experience. You each and every day just tackle one small thing. And we're not trying to rewrite your identity. We're just trying to create the space so that you recognize what is that next right step. And I help you with that. We walk through it. We collaborate. It's one of my favorite things is just to learn more about you and not tell you what to do, but guide you and walk with you. So yeah, this is a 5-day experience for people who feel like they're between these versions of themselves, but the magic inside is the connections we make. I believe in you, and I believe that together we can walk this out and grow together and figure out what is the next right step. So if you have a chance, go check us out on school.com/momentum reset, and take a look. Join. I'm open. Or even leave a comment and I'll send you the link. If you're between chapters right now, you're cool. And we'd love to have you.